My neighbor was a murderer. I think I was almost a victim. So, this happened in 2013. This kid named Johnny moved in next door to me when he was around 12. And, for the lack of a better term, this kid was pretty much a pussy. I remember one time he fell on his skateboard and didn't land hard at all, and was crying his little heart out in my driveway. This was like when he was 16. So now, fast forward to when this kid is like 18 years old. By then I'm selling coke and molly pretty heavily, and he's one of my best customers. By now he's hanging out with some pretty shady people, who my parents obviously aren't fans of. My parents also didn't know I was selling, because I was pretty good at keeping it under wraps. Johnny was clearly a follower. He went from being some skater/emo type to some wannabe thug, which he just wasn't built for. So, my parents go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina every year for 2 weeks, and they ask if I'll come and stay at their house while they're gone. I was pretty excited about this because their house is much nicer than the shitty little one-bedroom apartments I had at the time. So, everything was going fine at the house. I had my on and off again girlfriend over all the time, and there was quite a lot of drugs and alcohol going on. I was far from a saint back then. But I'll never forget this. It was a Thursday night. My girl had left a few hours before. Now, I should say that earlier in the day, Johnny had seen me out front of my parents and had asked for a front. I told him no, considering I never fronted anyone, and, in all honesty, I'd been using too much of my own shit, so I really couldn't afford to. He didn't like that very much, and we got in an argument, and I pretty much punked him in front of all his little friends. So, by now it's like 2 a.m, and I'm obviously nowhere near tired because of all the coke and molly. I'm sitting in the dark watching Netflix in this kind of den side living room my parents had in the downstairs, which had a window going outside that I had open. I paused the TV and was on my phone texting when I hear something. It's the screen of my window slowly being slid up. I know the sound. I'd snuck in and out of this house numerous times when growing up, so I slowly get up and watch the window. I clearly see the screen moving very slowly up through the curtains. I walk up to the window, and as soon as I move the curtain, at least 3 or 4 people scatter. I run out front, but they are booking it down the street. I knew it was that Johnny kid and his friends. I didn't see them, but I knew it was those shitheads. I didn't call the cops or anything. I wasn't exactly living on the right side of the law. So, I just went back in and locked everything up, and the rest of the week passed by smoothly. I never told my parents about it, and I also never saw Johnny again. I called him a few times, but he never answered. I even offered to front him, which was bullshit. I just wanted to see him. But he didn't reply, which was all the more reason to know it was him. And he knew that I knew. So, another month goes by and I'm watching the news. And Johnny is on it. For murder. This blew my mind. He and 3 of his friends went out of town, broke into some old couple's home, beat them, tied them up, and then stabbed them. They burnt the house down after robbing it. They all ended up telling on each other, and he got sentenced to 35 years for testifying against his co-defendants. Makes me wonder, if I was asleep when they got in, what could have happened?